Hello everyone, my name is Debayan and I welcome you all to the first episode of Back to Basics powered by Study Table. So on our first episode we have one of the most dynamic persons, one of the most dynamic figures in the education industry, Mr. Sibaprasad Ghose. He is an alumni of NIT Warangal and is the Center Director of Time Agartala, and alongside that he has completed his TSME course from IIM Ahmedabad. He is having 5 years of corporate experience in L&T Limited and Shell Limited, and alongside that, he has 13 plus years of experience in coaching for competitive exams and recruitment. He has also worked as consultant to Northeast Council, Shillong. So I welcome sir to our first episode on the first topic that we'll be covering today. That's higher education and career choice. So welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Nice to know, sir. I'm doing good as well. So, sir, the first question that I'll be asking you will be how a student should decide his or her higher education options.
See, if you look at when the students decide, it's not only their own decision. There two other factors come into play a significant role. One is obviously the guardians, and second is his environment, the surrounding. How the environment, puts a pressure in the student's mind, that is also very important. And in that process, sometimes students end up with choosing a wrong career. I won't say wrong career, I would say inappropriate career for the student. So in my opinion, the selection of a future or higher education should be based on three parameters. One is, the opportunities, in which sector you have more and more opportunities coming. And you have to also see that down the line, by the time you are going to finish your education, next 10-15 years, whether that course or that particular sector will have sufficient job opportunity or not. So that is the first one. Second one, decision should be taken based on core competency. I mean, core competency means something which you are very good since your childhood. Maybe you are very good in science subjects and you like studying science subject, you can pursue your education maybe in BSc or MSc and PhD, that is quite well. Or maybe somebody is good in sports or maybe singing, dancing. Then today, because of variety of opportunities are available, and with the improvement in this particular sectors like entertainment and media, so thinking a career in sports or maybe career in some other arts and culture is also very much possible today. So that is the second option. And the third option, this also happens but mostly into metro cities. You'll find people choosing very niche sector, but for that he or she should have that much of information. Let's say an example is chartered engineering is one such a profession, where a person doing engineering and then they go for LLB or CA. It's a combination of these two, and very rewarding career. Then professions like speech therapy, then special children's education. This is a niche area, but having a good rewarding career. So I would strongly recommend a student should, and along with their parents, they should sit down and think of these three parameters. One is whether there will be opportunity 5-6 years down the line. Second, am I good for that? Because I need to good for that. And third one is obviously, if you have any special sector and you have that resources, you have that information, then try for that sector.
So, sir, my second question would be how can be the different higher education options for students of different streams? Like how it can be different, like how they should decide on it.
That's actually quite a wide question. Answering this question, in general would be, would not be so justified. But yes, since this is a common question in the mind of everyone, let me give you a guideline. Let's say a student who is pursuing their higher education, higher HS in science. So the commonly known fact is they can always go for engineering and medical. And that generally happens. Most of the students, particularly in a state like Tripura, most of the students think for engineering and medical. But then Medical is fair enough, but in engineering today, so many engineers are graduating and so many engineering colleges are there. Not everyone is getting placement. You will find a lot of engineers after graduating, they are either working in call center or maybe a sales industry or maybe insurance companies. So it is better if at the end I have to work in those companies, why not develop a skill in that sector only? And that too, some engineering branches like biomedical engineering or maybe engineering like aerospace engineering, they are going to get a lot of momentum in future, because you can see, because of this COVID and all these things, so much of developments and so much of investments will be made in next 5-10 years into this biomedical industry, because of development of all this life support system, oximeter. You talk of any instruments related to medicine, all these developments are, investments are going to take place, and that too in India. Internationally, people are not going to invest in China, they're going to invest in our country. So this is going to open a big window. People sitting or living in this corner of the country, for them it becomes quite difficult to actually gauge what is going to happen in mainland after 5-6 years down the line. So deciding an engineering branch is very crucial today. If somebody says civil, mechanical and electrical are the three Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar of engineering branch, that is yes true, but I don't see that as any more practical sense. It makes sense to do an engineering in IT or computer science, where your placement, chance of getting placement is more. Yet still you will find people are doing civil engineering because they expect they will get a job under state government as a TES. But if you look at the recent recruitment trends, that recruitment has also gone down. So apart from engineering and medical, I would strongly recommend the guardians should look for two more options. One is a planning of doing an IPM or maybe a BBA plus MBA course from a very reputed universities, because it is a known fact, if you look at the salary, if you look at the job profile, if you look at the growth prospect, is far better if a person pursues MBA after doing his or her graduation. The salary would be some 2 times, 3 times, even in some cases the salary could be 5 times than what an engineering graduate usually get. So in that way one can think of, okay fine, so I'll do an BBA and then doing an MBA. But again, just doing a BBA from XYZ college does not make any sense. He or she to try to get an BBA from a good university, and simultaneously also should start preparing for exams like CAT or other MBA entrance. The another course which one can think of is CLAT, law. This national law schools across the country, their placements are very good and professions are also quite rewarding. It's like medicine professions. There is no retirement age. Same thing happens in lawyer. There is no retirement age. You will hardly see anyone in our state from science going to law profession. But you will find only few good students who are moving to law profession. But if good students move to law profession, I am sure they can earn a good living, as well as the rewarding career choice is also there. So law and management, this too could be a good avenue for the science background students. Apart from that, obviously doing a pure BSc is also makes a lot of sense, but then you need to have a clarity. What is my final objective? And that planning has to be there. Some student plans for, I want to write a civil service exam or public service exam. Now when you write a civil service or public service exam, your graduation is in what stream, that doesn't matter. It's better to go for a 3 years education, because now anyway by the new education system it will become 4 years, but after 3 years you can exit. So you go for a 3 years education, you save 1 year and study those subjects which you are going to have in your civil service exam, like you study with political science or economics or maybe history or geography. That makes sense. You want to become a teacher, makes sense. You do a studies in general education, start your B.Ed, write TET exam or CTET exam, have a clarity. But you will find recently the TET exam took place in our state where they allowed the students of engineering background also to write the TET. I know none less than some 40 to 50 students who are from engineering background. After engineering, they are writing TET exam, that to TET 1 to teach class 1 to 5 students. I'm not saying they will not do good, they will be doing very good. But the point is then your 4 years is not coming into any use. So a little bit of future planning has to be done, and it is not only for science, for all the streams this is applicable.
So this is not true that if an engineering student like goes for his management studies, he is wasting his engineering years. Then, if he has completed his B.Tech, then going for an MBA course, is it not like wasting his 4 years?
That's a relevant question, but it can be answered in both. It can be yes also, no also. Let me explain one by one. A person doing engineering degree, after that doing an MBA and going to work in a bank, so your engineering knowledge is not coming handy here. So you are wasting. But yes, in engineering study, while you are studying engineering, it's not that you have acquired only knowledge, you have also developed your analytical skill, because that entire engineering curriculum is like that. And you also understand how to handle almost 25-30 subjects in 4 years time. In every semester you handle 6 different subjects. So pressure handling is also developed. So when you go to work in a bank, then as such there is no use of your engineering knowledge. But you will also see lot of technology based companies are also recruiting these MBA people. You will go to, say, let's take a company like Microsoft. I'm sure many of you heard of. India's best B school is IIM Ahmedabad or IIM Bangalore. And say IIT Kharagpur, IIT Bombay will come in 10th or 15th position. But you look at Microsoft, you will find Microsoft is recruiting more from B school of IIT Kharagpur or IIT Bombay than IIM Bangalore or maybe IISc Bangalore, because they need people with management skill but having strong technical background. So that avenue is also there. People after engineering and management becomes a very good combination, and they can go on doing their making a good career in the technology based companies. In fact, ISC Bangalore, you heard of Kolkata, this Barakpur Indian Statistical Institution, ISI Barakpur, IIT Kharagpur and IIM Kolkata, together they have brought a course. That course is having 3 components: statistical component, management component, engineering component. That's a post-graduation course. So these are very specific course. And if somebody wants to know, sir, what type of placement I can get it from this type of course, I'll give a simple answer. You can become a consultant to the Niti Aayog. You can become a consultant to the maybe planning committee of any of the governments. Even state governments recruit from those particular courses. So prestigious course, but niche area. But anyway, bottom line is, you need to foresee. Just whatever I am getting right now, that may not be relevant 5-6 years down the line. Okay. Let's look at the other branch like commerce. However, if you look at the recent trend, the trend of students moving towards commerce is increasing. But in our state, even today, first preference of the students remains science. And the only other reason why they don't choose science is maybe because of economic reason. Because bearing the expenditure of science is slightly more. You have to go to so many tuitions. So after commerce, yes, BCom is there. BBA and MBA is a very good option. Law, same option. Today, there are some more options like doing a PG diploma certificate. Right after graduation, students go for pursue PG diploma certificate in taxation, GST, okay? Then maybe export import. And then there is a good opportunity of career. In fact, just for the information, MBB University recently started, this year onwards, started a evening certificate course on Spanish, GST, and sales management and marketing. MBB University have also started this course. So this will lead to a lot of placements in insurance sector, maybe banking sector, trading sector, share trading sector. So these are the bases. For arts, most of the students in arts actually try for teaching job. That is relevant also. Why they try for teaching job? Because if you look at the teachers recruitment ratio, if 100 teachers are recruited, there will be 70 teachers who will be from arts background. Because if you look at the subject taught in school life up to class 10, generally they don't say maths teacher, they don't say physics teacher, they say science teacher. So a science teacher, one person is responsible for taking maths, chemistry, and you have physics. But for English, one separate teacher, for Bengali, one separate teacher, for SST, another separate teacher. For maybe, as per the new education policy, in future, if the vocational courses are also included, again we'll see music teacher, dance teacher, sports teacher in every school. So, from students from arts background, yes, going for a good graduation followed by a B.Ed makes sense. They can also pursue some special certification in maybe this clinical psychology, counseling course. Okay, this could be another option where they can think of their career.
Fair enough, sir. So, sir, my third question to you would be, why a proper career choice to be made for a prospectful future growth?
Okay, so let me just rephrase what you said. The first question was how, right? And this question is why. So when I said how, my point was you should look at opportunity, what you can do, your skill set, and some special cases. But when I say answer why it should be done, and actually today it is must, one should do proper analysis, do all the SWOT analysis before he or she commit his time and money into career. Point number one, it's like marriage. Job and career is like marriage. You cannot exchange it. Once you are married, exchange rate is very less. So once you commit your 4 years, 5 years into some education, you cannot reverse it. Yes, you can change it later on, but reversing is not possible. This is first one. Secondly, today it's very fast changing world. Almost every single thing is changing fast. I'll give an example. If you remember, there was a technology of floppy drive. It moved away. CD came. Everybody was carrying a CD. In every students, if you ask them, either they have a music CD or game CD or some movie CD, right? It's changed. It came now pen drive. Pen drive changed to SD card. Now SD cards are also becoming irrelevant because everything is stored in cloud. So people who are making it, the technology which are associated to making these things are also different. So person who had a technology, who knew the technology of making a CD was actually hardcore technology, whereas when you are doing storing something in cloud, the entire system is different. So if I don't upgrade myself according to that technology, sustaining in today's world is quite difficult. So similarly, when we are studying or going through our education system, you need to understand in Indian education system, the rate of change or rate of development of Indian education system is very, very slow compared to the rate of development of the industry. So if I have to keep up with the rate of change of the industry, I need to step forward as a student. I cannot rely on my education system. I need to choose and as well as enhance myself so that in future I don't become, backdated. So it is very important today that you have to foresee, think, because otherwise you never know after 4 or 5 years if the new education policy comes into picture, the entire teacher recruitment process may be different. Today we know there's a B.Ed or something, there could be something new, a digital training system. Now why unlimited number of teachers are available? Because B.Ed colleges are limited. Now in future, if a digital mode of teachers training comes, so n number of people can be trained for teaching job. So the entire equation may change. You may be thinking I'll do B.Ed, but after 3 years the B.Ed course may not exist. And the way everything is moving towards digital domain, a lot of things will be different. So it's very important today to think, discuss with experts, read some good journals, magazines, reports, employment reports, and then one should commit their time for the career. I understand this is sometimes quite difficult for the students of rural area. For that, I think the education department or some other body, people like you can go on doing some seminars like this, which will be definitely helpful for the students of the rural area, so that they will come to know about different types of career options. Okay?
Fair enough, sir. So, sir, similar to our last question, and as you have mentioned regarding the education policy, my next question to you would be how new education policy will bring a change in education? If you can elaborate.
Okay. So, a new education policy, I'll not go through the structure and all, because that I'm sure many of you have already read it. There will be no exam in the first 3 years model, and then there will be exams like that. But I would like to focus on two different things, two very important aspects, but not quite clearly highlighted, what I feel. One of the biggest problem in Indian education system, when we studied and when we teach, as well as when we talk with the students of rural area or maybe the teachers, we found that the Indian students are lacking in three important things. One, they don't ask questions. Their eagerness to learn something or exploring something, that is less. So their inquisitiveness is missing. Okay, they don't ask questions, and for that I think one reason is, in a class so many students are there. If they all keep on asking, the teacher will be puzzled, or teacher will not have an opportunity to answer or teach properly. So the teacher is forced to maintain a calm in the class, and they said keep quiet. So you'll find the teachers don't entertain the students to ask questions. For that, trust me, I don't blame the teachers. There could be exceptional cases, but in general, I don't blame the teachers. I think the main reason why they don't entertain is because 50 students. If I remember my school days, we used to study 50 students in a class, and 50 students asking question is quite difficult. Secondly, they have a problem of thinking. They don't think. They don't think in the sense they don't know what to think and how to think. Trust me, it has came up with a survey report. They don't know what to think and how to think. Again, it is because of the system, because our system is yet now is marks driven. You'll find, even I have met number of guardians, number of students in Agartala. They are quite happy, highly satisfied if they have got good marks. Doesn't matter whether their understanding is good or not. So they are marks driven, and since they are marks driven, their thinking is less. You will find 95% of students do not read textbook. They straightway buy reference book if they can afford it. Textbook is an abstract reading. An abstract reading develops a thinking process. A reference book is a question answer reading. You read a question, so you know whatever I'm going to read, this is the answer for this question. You don't connect anything. When you read something abstract and a question is asked, You think, you try to connect the dots. And you are reading a question and answer, that's like a machine. It's an input and output mechanism. So you are not thinking. So this is the second parameter where the students of the, this particular education system, students are lacking. And the third one is teachers are lacking. It is a known fact. Who goes to teaching profession? It's a known fact. I'm not blaming, I'm not demeaning anything, but who goes to teaching profession today? Forget about 20 years back, because that time career options were not so many available. That time only fewer career options were there. Even the good student will go for teaching profession. But today who goes to teaching profession? It is a known fact in our state, there are number of teachers are there who might have cleared class 10th exam in 4/5 attempts. Fact, I don't want to demean anybody, but that's a fact. So if I have a teacher like that, how he is going to teach their students? Are they trained? Just mere pursuing a B.Ed degree does not certify that he will become a good teacher. Because the way he has done his graduation, same way he has done his B.Ed. So I think this new education policy, at the first place, will ensure that students participate in the studies, and that looks like, and according to the PM also, I expect that new education policy should create a system where the students participate in the classroom. They ask questions. The second point, in fact, it has been said by our PM in his speech that will push the students thinking, how to think, innovate. Okay, so that has to come. Third one, I have not seen, they said, but I have not seen, whatever I have read, the policy did not say, but still I expect they will certainly do something with the teachers' quality. And if you ask me, I'll give a straightforward answer: increase the salary of teachers, make it one of the premium jobs. Then only you'll find cream students, good students are coming to teaching profession. Make it a premium job, pay them more than the others, because teachers are they are the maker of the society, and you are paying peanuts to the teachers. How you expect a cream of a student will come and become a teacher? You cannot expect that. So these are the three expectations I have, mostly from new education policy. Students will participate, they will like their studies, they will enjoy their schools. Second one, I said that about this thinking, the thinking power, and obviously teachers' quality has to be improved.
All right, sir. I completely agree with your points. So
Thanks.
my last question would be to you: what skill set a student should acquire in his time for a successful career?
Okay, coming to skill sets, what happens? Just look at one thing. Even from our childhood, my father used to tell me, read newspapers, underline them, English newspaper, underline them, write down the vocabs. But I am a student from Bengali medium. My English was very poor. Trust me, I have never done it because there was no exam for that. If there is no urgency, you won't do it. You need to have an urgency. So students miss out in that particular area. So in today's world, IT skill and communication skill, these are not optional skill, they are essential skill, irrespective of what profession, what background you are into, science, commerce. Even you are not going to pursue your higher education, it is okay. After class 10, you develop some other skill, you go into share stockbroking, never mind. But if you have a good communication skill and IT skill, then you have a very good chance of being successful. So these two are must. And secondly, obviously, based on in what profession, in what stream you are, you have to develop some other skills.
So, sir, if a student does not want to pursue his higher education and work on a specific skill, so what will be your advice for them, and how they can work on it?
Okay, so what you mean is after class 12, not doing any further graduation.
exactly, like not pursuing any higher education and
Mhm.
rather than that focusing on particular skills.
Possible, it happens. In abroad, this is a common practice. In India, also, this is coming up and picking up gradually. With a lot of alternative career options are coming up, and one of the example, it could be a blogger or YouTuber. People are making a good career, good earning, just by uploading videos in YouTube. So what happens if you have a certain skill, and if you know that that particular skill is very good within you, and that skill has changed your life, you can work on that skill and make a career out of it. So in that way, it's more will be entrepreneurship, where you have to either hire somebody or continue with your own business. Some of the examples could be, if you look at this, electricians. I know quite a number of people. They are not individual electricians. What they do, they know good work. Under them, they employ 2-3 people, and they usually do the electrification works of all those flats, like apartments, big apartments, where one person cannot execute the work. There has to be a team, and the head of the team, you will find somebody who is having a good best of the knowledge and also having some capital. So a student having a good understanding or that skill, having some capital, can always start off this type of career, which makes a lot of sense. Similarly, there is another career options which are like apprenticeship, like in railway or in ONGC, you do a apprenticeship training, whereas particular skill is enhanced, and just sufficient, your class 12 education is sufficient. After that, you need to have that certification, so you get a job of technician. So those are happening, and in railway also this type of recruitment takes place. Railway, ONGC, IOCL, Coal India Limited, they keep on recruiting this type of people. Army, Navy, Merchant Navy. Okay, so there you can, right after your class 12th, you can opt for a career. And while in the career, you can do formal education there according to their structure.
All right, sir. And is it possible for after class 12th, can anyone rely on skills rather than getting a formal higher education? Like,
Yes, they can. Uh, but then you have to understand again, like what your parents want from you. Do you want to take that risk? And is that skill, on that particular skill, you need to be really good at? Doing a graduation actually gives you multiple options. When you talk about a skill, it's only one option. You do a engineering, you have multiple, either you try for job or something else, or maybe private government job. But if you are having one skill, you have to rely only on that skill, so that your backups or the secondary backup plans are not there. So that is the drawback. But otherwise, yes, very much possible.
all right, sir. So those are a few of the questions actually generally everyone is having in their mind. So that's all questions that I have in this session. So it was really nice, sir, getting to know all this from you, all the information that you have provided.
Thank you.
So it was really like in an interactive session that we had with you. Thank you, sir, and we hope we can get some more of your precious time in the upcoming sessions.
Thank
All
you.
right, sir. Thank you.
Stay safe.